That's right, everyone. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. Hope you have great holidays, everyone, and please be safe, stay warm, have a great week, and weeks up to Happy New Year. So we definitely want to say hi to every one of you that is celebrating Hanukkah. So enjoy, everyone, please. Okay, so we're going to be starting the show in a couple of minutes. We're going to have our guest coming up. He works for the World Baseball Network. His name is Matt Tallarini, and he was at the baseball winter meetings, and he will be joining us, and we're going to be talking about everything winter meetings. So let's bring everybody up and Nathan and Sean Browning and Evini. How you doing? Happy
Hey.
Hanukkah! Happy Hanukkah
Yes.
to you. How you doing?
Yes.
Dreidel.
Yeah.
So what
Evan,
you
you gonna have the matzo ball soup?
Yeah, I will.
Our
course.
guest is here.
Okay, you can drop me.
All right.
Okie dokie. All right, everyone. Man, our guest is going to be right on time. And if Matthew is he's not ready yet. He's shutting the light, putting it on. How you doing? Matthew, you give me a thumbs up when you're ready, we'll get it going. I think he's okay. I don't know. If he gives me a thumb up, we'll bring him up, guys. Nope, he's still not ready. Well, so guys, how's your morning going? How's the weather by you guys right now?
It's not too bad. It was snowing a couple of nights ago, but luckily it stopped. It's pretty sunny, but it's cold. It's 23 degrees, windy. So
Hey, that's a little better than this morning. It was like 11 degrees, 12 degrees.
Everything's freezing over.
Yeah, really. I want to make a fast announcement to a very sad overnight with Rob Reiner, comedian, and of course director, filmmaker. He was stabbed to death last night, along with his wife, and it's a very sad day in the directors community, in the actors and actresses community. It's what a talent. I mean, he brought us so many wonderful shows and movies. And of course, if you, I know a lot of you are younger, but if you go and check out All in the Family, one of the most classic shows you'll ever have in life. So,
Well, and then he directed When Harry Met Sally.
Right.
And a lot of other of the 80s and 90s classics, American iconic films. But yeah, All in the Family. No, it's sad news that happened last night. And then it was on the heels of what happened in Australia, where the Jewish community was attacked by two cowards while they were doing a Hanukkah celebration Saturday night, early Sunday morning in Australia time.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was what a tragic weekend, and like I said, our prayers are out to them. And we were going to dedicate this show to Travis. Travis, we're going to do the next show for you because we're going to pay respect to Rob Reiner and his wife. So this show completely is dedicated to Rob Reiner and his wife. Prayers out to the family, the friends, and all communities. Rest in peace, and we're gonna miss you, man. You're an incredible talent. Let's see, is our star ready? Matt, are you ready? I think he is. Yeah, all right. We are ready, baby. We're gonna be talking Turkey baseball. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up World Baseball Network number one guy, Matt Tallarini. How you doing, Matt, as we bring him up? Happy holidays.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa to everyone watching. Great to be on. A lot to look forward to in the Major League Baseball offseason.
Yes.
We also have a lot of winter leagues that are going on in the Dominican Republic, Australia, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Panama, Colombia. It just doesn't stop. It's a 12-month sport, and I'm happy to be on to give some insight of what's going on in the global baseball landscape.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for taking time. I know you had a hectic week last week. We really appreciate it. So we have myself, Joe, here. We have Sean Browning, and we have Evan here from NY Yankee Mania. And we all welcome you and everybody in our Yankee and wonderful chat here. Say thank you to you for coming on. And again, like I said, first of all, I got to tell you, that's a beautiful background that you have there. So that is a really beautiful house. I want to just
yeah, it's a little leisure. Yeah, I mean, you see it on like ESPN First Take. Maybe MLB Network doesn't Swift the background like this, but wanted to change it up a bit.
So it's very cool. It's very cool. So let me ask. So in getting started, first of all, what part of Italian are you?
My dad's mom is from Campania and Avellino, and my dad's dad is from Bergamo, so just north in the Alps. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right near
Have
Germany.
You been to Italy?
What's up?
Have you been to Italy?
Yes, not for baseball trips though. I've been only for family reasons a few times, 5 times, and I have a extended family on that side of the world. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, we're from Sicily. So
beautiful. I want to go to Sicily one of these days.
Oh, believe me. When you want to go, I'll just let me know. I'll tell you all the places and the beautiful food and the campagnas that you can go to. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Amazing. So Italy. I think we should cap off with that because last week I was at the Italian American Baseball Foundation Gala at Marina del Rey in Throgs Neck, New York. And Joseph Quagliano has had the 501c3 for around 9 years, and they're giving up extensive scholarships to Italian Americans domestically, and they're helping with the Federazione Italiana baseball, softball, bridging certain players that want to play collegiate baseball in the United States with a lot of outreach. Marco Mazzeri, who was a former Italian national team player, is now the current president of the Federazione Italiana baseball, softball. And it was a wonderful event. Alana Rizzo had the Italian American Baseball Foundation Media Award. Phil Cuzzi also was nominated for a selective award for his service as an umpire in Major League Baseball. And it was interesting to hear Jill Martin, Bill Martin's widow, speak for probably 8 minutes about Billy Martin's career as a player and also how they met in 1977 in the late 70s, pretty much when those championship teams were just getting started under the George Steinbrenner ownership. And it's every year the Italian American Baseball Foundation Gala, a lot of people just keep drawing and drawing and drawing. And they, as in, the Italian American community, they want to know about baseball on the other side of the world. And maybe we're not there. We, as in, the Italian pipeline, we're not there with the Dominican Republics, the Mexicos, the Venezuelas, or even the Netherlands, because they have a lot of Curacao talent from that area of the world. But Italy is coming up. If you look at guys like Alessandro Ercolani, who's a prospect in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, he's from San Marino. Yes, it's a different country, but they are part of the Federazione Italiana Baseball Softball. Or even a player like Samuel Aldahiri that has already made major league strides with the Los Angeles Angels. Italy is a dark horse, meaning that there's a lot of talent that's there. And then we're seeing with the international signing period by January 15th, that even certain players that are from that side of the world in Europe are looking to get signed at the age of 16 and 17 years old to play either in the Dominican Summer League complex in 2026 or possibly at the complex league levels in Arizona or Florida in the next few months. So yeah, just watch out for Italy, because I feel like you're going to see a lot of talent on that side of the world. And then the Italian national team that's playing in the 2026 World Baseball Classic is led by Francisco Cervelli. As you know, he's the 2009 World Series champion with the Yankees. Played a few seasons also with Pittsburgh and other organizations. So it's cool to see that Cervelli replaced Mike Piazza, Hall of Fame catcher. Kind of like took the rally cry of the Nespresso in the dugout. I think that was the cool thing, that you put the espresso machine in the dugout, and that was like a little rally cry that they had in Taiwan that led to Tokyo, and unfortunately they fell just short of Miami the last time around to get to the World Baseball Classic by losing to Japan in the quarterfinals at the Tokyo Dome. But I think Italy's ready to compete. I think they're going to have a great team. Vinny Pasquantino, Jack Caglione, guys like that, I think are going to contribute as heavy. And that pool is stacked. I mean, you got the United States, Mexico, Brazil, Great Britain, in Houston, Texas, at Daikin Park for the first time that the Astros will host a pool round for the World Baseball Classic. So yeah, can't wait to see what the future holds in the next few months for Italy in the WBC for sure.
Yeah, and I love your the way you flow the Italian language. So I could tell you really practice and you really love it, and that's great. That is awesome. Just to know and everything that you see coming from the Italians, and we have the World Cup coming up this pretty soon, and the Italian team that always known for defense. I'd like them to do a little offense, so that would be good one of these years. That would be nice. But no, it's really cool, and I'm glad that you gave a little insight to the Italian league out there. What I'd like to ask you now is your World Baseball Network. People have asked me, Joe, what actually is that? Is that like a like a network where you can get on the internet, or what is the World Baseball Network?
Well, the concept really started during the COVID-19 pandemic. There was a lot of blogs that I looked at on Facebook that were like really cool to see that they were other informative sources that were all over the globe, like the countries we mentioned earlier, Japan, Taiwan, you name it, even out that side, Australia. And I was fascinated by a colleague. His name is Robert Shadlow. He lives in Tacoma, Washington, and he had a blog called Baseball Pacific International. It was never, stamped through. It was never a trademark, copyright business. And I just was like, wow, like baseball is global, and I always knew these leagues existed. But, with the eco-driven lane of the World Wide Web, you can Google interpret from tweets now on X and so forth, and Meta. I came up with this concept because I felt like there are feeder leagues in the world. Yes, the minor leagues did lower from 180 to 140 after 2019 from Commissioner Robert Manfred. He signed negotiations from the Professional Baseball Association to kind of leverage on other cities that lost affiliate baseball that were to the MLB Draft League and so forth, or completely wiped out affiliate baseball. And it's a very just driven lane of how cultured Americana is. You know what I mean? Minor league baseball in the summer, how cheap tickets are, how cheap, beer is, hot dogs, you name it. Minor league baseball is a driven part of our lifestyle here in the United States. And we could say the same thing about Canada too, with several teams. And yeah, I came up with this concept because I love the game. I played it all my life. I played 2 years at Mitchell College after playing at White Plains High School. I played semi-pro for the Pelham Mets. under former Pittsburgh Pirate minor leaguer Joseph Salamini, who played with Tony La Russa and Willie Stargell in the late 60s, 1960s. And he actually signed, by the way, a few years prior to the 1965 amateur draft. So, you don't have a lot of like minds that really seen the game like he did, Mr. Salamini, but it was great to have a mentor to see like, oh yeah, like I was signed before 1965. This is how much I made. And now we're seeing with like we're gonna see the stuff with Washington Nationals #1 pick Eli Willits, what he's capable of. A few years ago, Jackson Holliday, being Matt Holliday's son, having a high leverage now. So a lot of these draft picks are definitely in a different wavelength. That if I was alive, in that time frame in the 60s, what do we compare to now in the game? But to not get carried over, when I was 10 years old, 12 years old, actually 2006, that was the first year of the World Baseball Classic. I was born in 1993, so I was in 7th grade. I was 12 years old in 7th grade, World Baseball Classic.
You have to rub it in.
First
you have
year.
to rub in your age. Must you rub it into me?
Not rubbing in. I'm just cold.
I already went to Italy 2 times before you were born.
So now the World Baseball Classic comes around in 2006. It's come a long way. Yes. I mean, you had the venues like the Salt River at the Talking Stick. Disney was a host. Now we're seeing MLB stadiums be hosts of the World Baseball Classic. And also, I always knew winter ball was a thing too, because after winter baseball practice indoors from the Northeast originally, now I live in Miami, the last 3.5 months, I had a teammate named Peter Martinez that I would go over his house. We would watch Tigres del Licey games from the Lindome Winter League. And I'm like, hey, man, hey, hermano, like, there's games going on in the offseason. Major League Baseball, I thought when it's done, it's done. He's like, nah, like, I'm from the Dominican Republic. I'm from the capital. This is my team. We play 60 games. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. Didn't know this was a league. Like, I never knew of Lindome because I'm not from the Dominican Republic. And then, if you had the extra subscription with IO and Cablevision, you would get channels from Latin America that would broadcast these games, or ESPN Deportes that televises these leagues, and the Serie del Caribe, which we say in English, the Caribbean series, or the quote unquote, the real Caribbean World Series. And I looked at all these players like Luis Polonia, Rubio Durazo, Miguel Tejada. I was watching a few games of the Caribbean series in 2005, 2006. And I'm just like, okay, there's baseball being played in these countries with major leaguers that are held and good and, selected multiple all-star links. Okay, there's baseball around. And then, the World Baseball Classic comes in 2006. And, teams like Cuba, you never heard of, certain players like Yuli Gurriel, Ariel Pistano, Pedro
Hernandez brothers.
Yeah, so it's a lot of different players that you never heard of, but they're in these countries where they can't allow major league talent because of political reasons and their regime of their government. And it's like, okay, so they played in a final against Japan, which at the time only had Ichiro as a held major leaguer on their roster. The rest of the roster was Nippon Professional Baseball players. Daisuke Matsuzaka, he played in the first World Baseball Classic.
Yes.
So it was very intriguing to see where the World Baseball Classic was and has been a big part in the last 20 years. And with this being the 6th event, Jim Small, the president of MLB International, now World Baseball Classic Inc., has been doing a great job to promote the tournament itself. And, the tournament being backed by Major League Baseball Players Association, the MLBPA, and the 30 owners. You can't have this event at any time to say it's a good time to have it. We saw the Edwin Diaz injury that happened in March. I was actually at that game, and Lone Depot Park was a pin drop. When he got hurt and they beat the DR and they celebrated after the final out, and Edwin Diaz just basically fell to the floor or got hurt, it was a pin drop in the stadium from all the Puerto Rican fans. And it's like, wow, like, this is an amazing tournament, but does it affect a lot on spring training? But you never know. You can get hurt like that in spring training and miss the season. Not saying celebrating on a walk-off in the Cactus or Grapefruit League, but with that being said, like, there's a lot of freak accidents that you don't know can occur. And even if you have this tournament, say in January, now in December, it's never going to be like a great time to have it. You just got to have it when it's the right time. But hopefully with the new collective bargaining agreement, there's been talks. Bob Nightingale wrote an article a few months ago that with the new CBA, that the World Baseball Classic could be probably moved to the All-Star break in 2029 or 2030 when they get it back to every 4 years from that landscape. So yeah, it's a great event, and I'm happy to see it grow these last 20 years for sure. Awesome.
That great description, Matt, about all of this, and a little nice education. We're even thinking about doing some play-by-play. We started the channel around March, April, and we started doing play-by-plays of some Yankee games, important games, and now we're itching possibly to do some World Baseball. And by the way, you're always welcome to come on. And you know so much about it. Let us analyze. You call some play-by-plays if you like. You're more than welcome. We'd love to have you. The knowledge you have is incredible.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. Well, I'll tell you right now, the Yankee fans right here are jumping because they got to hear from you. Do you? We have so many Yankee questions to feed you, Matt. I don't know if we might be done by Christmas or by New Year's. I don't know. But I mean, to start it off, the first question is, it's coming from Kevin, and Kevin asks, why were the Yankees, in your opinion, so quiet? Do you think they were working hard, or was it just smoke screens that they really weren't going to do anything in the winter meetings?
I think it's a thing of both. I think Brian Cashman, I think some angles of the front office that, you can't really evaluate on how you lose to your division rival in the LDS, and I feel like it's a big burn. It's like you have all these meetings, in the war room every day, certain times a week during spring training, pitchers and catchers, and it's like, what do you want to accomplish? Because I feel like day one, or now even, this is when it's go time for 2026. Ahmed Rosario signed for a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Jason Dominguez cannot hit junk ball pitching for the Leones del Escogido in the DR. Is Jason Dominguez even a held MLB guy at this rate if he's batting 184 against high AA talent, release guys, and some fragments of AAA, and just a few backwash of MLB guys in Lindome these last few weeks? It's a lot to take in. I just feel that they're pitching. I think Garrett Cole has to come up strong this year from his injuries that he's been suffering the last few years. Aaron Judge in the playoffs is like a one itch that every fan, you could say every reporter, because we're still itching for a good story and rooting for a good story. Every businessman, people in baseball, they want to see. That's kind of like the length of, he's a great player. Him, Vladdy Jr., and Ohtani are the three best players in Major League Baseball. And I feel that Ohtani has lived up to it. Vladdy is making stride, and he's living up to it. Played in a Game 7. And I feel like you're the captain of the New York Yankees. The title is a lot to really reach from when you had Thurman Munson, Lou Gehrig, Derek Jeter, Don Mattingly.
Of course,
it's like it's that title that you want to live up to it. But I feel like in this day and age, when you're driven by so much of numbers and not much of gut, and just a presence of who your person is in the clubhouse that is a leader. That is kind of the days we're living in now. But I think Aaron Boone, I just like it's hard to grasp because like if George was alive, I mean, every fan, reporter, or business-minded person in the game of baseball would say that Aaron Boone would not have this job right now if George was alive. Um, but it's a lot to really take in because the Yankees don't have a true catcher right now. Austin Wells, I mean, is he really the future of what can happen? You know, for calling good games, getting assessment from Boone to call good games. His presence at the plate isn't really consistent, and it's just I don't know where the Yankees really stand coming into next year because I think Toronto really has a 3-year window. To be honest, if I had to look into a crystal ball or put my money on a wager and say Toronto might win a World Series in the next 3 years, I think that's a good bet to say that the Yankees just don't have it in them like I saw in the 90s as a young kid. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think the team across town, the New York Mets, they're in shambles. It came down to the last game in Miami of the regular season to really, you know, what lies for David Stearns, right? Like I just feel that, you know, like you paying Juan Soto $765 for 15 years. Edwin Diaz, he didn't really live up to his contract. Now he's in Chavez Ravine with the Los Angeles Dodgers now. Pete Alonso now is with for 5 years, $450 million with the Baltimore Orioles. So he just shot down 95 to play with the Yankees, you know, division rivals. So I just feel that New York baseball is in a different direction right now. And I feel like you're going to see teams like the Blue Jays, the Brewers, possibly the Padres make a lot of noise in the next few years because they're really moving more money around, especially with not having a salary cap in the sport as of yet. We don't know what 2026 is going to bring if we have a lockout for the first few months in 2027, or maybe a lockout possibly for a full length of that year. But the teams that are in these markets, they're using the money accordingly. And I just feel like the Yankees with such a big payroll and even a good minor league system, I like kids like George Lombard. I want to see be successful. I think he's better than Anthony Volpe. I think the Yankees got a good farm system to like evaluate with. Why would we say, oh, they're prospect hugging for that matter, the Yankees, but they have some player, not even some player, a player that can have the 5-tool length of talent waiting in the wings that, you know, I just don't know what the Yankees want to assess because it's like Anthony Volpe played with these injuries. You never told the athletic trainers or certain lengths of other personnel with the Yankees that you played through these injuries, you stuck through it. And I just feel like there wasn't a lot of movement at the shortstop position for the New York Yankees this past year. And I think Lombard could be a stud. I think he could put up good numbers in the Grapefruit League in the next few months to make the roster. And yeah, just watch out because I think Anthony Volpe's time in New York's very minimal at this rate.
Well, and the bottom line is this. You know, there's so many rumors. Imai from Japan, Bellinger or Tucker. Do you at least see one of them as a? The rumors are that they have enough room for one major player, and then 5 and dimers. Or do you really see the Yankees not doing anything and going into? I mean, how do you sell tickets? If
Imai is a
lineup is 4th place team.
Yeah, so like about Imai, you know, he played for the Saitama Seibu Lions in the Pond Professional Baseball. He's a Scott Boras client. I think he's good enough to play in the major leagues. I don't think he's really good enough to play in a different market like New York. We've seen that with guys like Sonny Gray now that are blossoming to other markets now that couldn't live up to the New York market. I think when you're a client of Scott Boras, there's a different potential length that you have to reach because you're with one of the best licensed sports agents in the arena of this. And I feel like coming from Japan now. There's a lot of, different lengths of who's the next Otani. Like, is Munetaka Murakami of the Tokyo Yakult Swallows going to be a guy that I feel like he's a major league talent type of player, but how many of those players we're going to see take that leap from Asia to the major leagues? It's a different wavelength of how even a guy like Kyle Tucker, kind of a veteran presence to have in a clubhouse. You got a guy like Trent Grisham that has like the same, mechanic layout or club. He's a clubhouse guy too. Trent Grisham, just like a Kyle Tucker. And yeah, I mean, there's just role ways to fill in this. You saw that with the 96 Yankees, the 98 Yankees with the best record and, long length of going to the World Series with current role players that they had on that team, 1999, 2000. You can go on and on about that dynasty reign. But I just feel that Kyle Tucker, how does he fit in that lineup? Like, what's the presence, like I said before, who takes Dominguez's spot? I feel like that's another way to say, all right, is he going to play left? Is he going to, work around that? I don't know if the Yankees are going to re-sign Goldschmidt at first base. So it's a lot of windows to open up. And I just feel that with what the Yankees need to do, I think is go out and get a big left-handed bat that's available. Because I think that's going to be key and one strong starting pitcher in their rotation. Because I feel like you need that to build a roster. Devin Williams didn't really fill a lot of holes this past year with blowing saves. He would have 3-run leads going into the 9th inning or certain later innings of most games and other series that were pretty impactful for that time being. So I just think that, the Yankees have a lot of work to do top to bottom. But Kyle Tucker, I think he's a good player. I think he could be a good bat, but we'll see. I mean, in the next few weeks or few months, maybe before pitchers and catchers, that he'll be picked up somewhere if it's not the Yankees.
Guys, you have a question?
Yeah. So then, thanks for coming on. First of all, and then with all this world, the Japanese coming over in loads. I mean, because you remember after Nomo, and then it was Ichiro, and then it was Arabu. Was a little bit before Ichiro, but after Ichiro and Hideki Matsui, then everyone just kind of started coming over. And then now you see Korean players coming over. Do you think there's going to be a whole lot more from Europe and Asia just coming over in the majors? And what do you think we're going to play more often in those other places like we did before the COVID season?
The scouting is getting big. The pool of international scouting is getting big in these areas globally. Being here in Miami, there's a lot of affluent academies that are here that are run by a lot of former MLB Latin players. I could hop on a plane to the Dominican Republic in Santiago, the north side, and be there in 2 hours. I can be in Santo Domingo in 2.5 hours. The technology scape of what we're seeing with TrackMan is a big part of this. Yes, there is analytics that people still rely on beside of gut, but to find that diamond in the rough, I feel like I said before about Curacao and the Netherlands, that's one country that's been really dominant in baseball since the same time as Italy. They just really ran with it more. So not to give a historical context, but in 1947, during World War II, Italy got so Nettuno is the birthplace of baseball in Italy. And to narrate back to 2025, 2026, where we're seeing with the game globally on that side of the world, I just feel like there's a lot of opportunities to really work around. With the smart devices we have now, we're talking on a PC, or I could have been doing this on a smartphone to interview you guys and be on this podcast segment. But there's a lot of proof relevance in technology than we had before. It's not word for mouth. In the Negro Leagues back in the day, if someone gave me a letter and said, oh, yeah, go see Satchel Paige try out at Buffalo Memorial War Stadium for some team in the Midwest or out west, or play in the Pacific Coast League. That was the assessment reign, 55, 60 years ago. That now that we're seeing now, there's a lot of evidence that we can reach, we as in the populous people can reach people now. The World Wide Web's huge in this. Prep Baseball Report, Baseball Factory, Perfect Game. These are institutions that are pretty much running through even on the international landscape, not just here in Canada, but also out in the Caribbean and somewhat out east. That these pipeline companies, prospect pipeline companies, they want to get as much advanced scouting that there is, and we as in this generation have the technology to advance that. Would I like to see a player from Sicily one of these days? Like it's just
I'll
like
play.
that.
I'll play. I'll go. I don't have a problem with that.
Because
there's a showcase there. I'll travel to see what lays out and the amenities that come through it with that. And it's a lot. Like going to Dubai last month for the Baseball United League that just started. That league is funded by 20 current and former MLB players, and also big capital management hedge fund, disparity groups. And shout out to Cash Shake, who's a co-founder of Baseball United, and took really a lot of levels to get release guys, high affiliate release guys, independent guys, or current guys that are looking for major league jobs to grow the sport. And that part of the world, you're dealing with like a few billion cricket fans. And you're transferring that to baseball. So in an elaborate way, it's cool to see where the game is growing, because it's never been done before in this central ecosystem market that World Baseball Network has creating these last few years, and other outreach that's been going on with other places in the world that are developing new professional leagues as well to give certain guys an opportunity. And Baseball United just finished, by the way, last night. The Mideast Falcons won the first ever regular season title. They beat the Mumbai Cobras in 3 games. Yes, it was a best of 3 series for the United Series. Look forward to either long, extensive seasons from Baseball United down the road. And it's cool to see where the game is growing. I think there's a lot of technology to work through it. There's a lot of networking to work through it. And baseball is a small sport. You could know somebody in Colombia, Japan the next day, and they're connecting the dots with people and colleagues that So it's great to see where the game is growing in fruition, to be honest.
Awesome. Evan, got a question?
Yeah. Thank you, Matt, for coming on. Appreciate it. I'm just astonished by how much you know about the international game and all that stuff. It's really interesting, cool to hear about. Why do you think some of these Japanese players that come over from Japan to the United States to play in the MLB, why do you think that some of them are either boom or bust? And how do you think that some of them will translate from this year's class coming over to the MLB?
I think it's ABC baseball. Get them on, get them over, get them in. I think it's the small ball tactics that they're accustomed to. Remember, they're playing the game from morning to class to nighttime. The game is a religion. The sport is a religion in Japan. The tactics are different. The drills, if you watch Koshien, which is a major high school tournament in a stadium called Koshien Stadium, where the Nippon Professional Baseball Hanshin Tigers play, that's a week-and-a-half event. Three different. Yeah, if you want to go look that up, sportsbull.com, Koshien High School Baseball. That is a tournament to see the discipline these players have. Masahiro Tanaka actually made his fame in that event, the Koshien Baseball Tournament that was at Koshien Stadium in Osaka, Japan. And I just feel like there's a lot of amateur routes that are more built in that country itself. Yes, we have USA Baseball that's backed up by Major League Baseball. Yes, the regional landscape in the United States, like here in South Florida, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, I mean, you have talent all over the country, even in the cold climates of the Northeast, the Midwest, and the Pacific Northwest. But for a country like Japan, it's a very, very disciplined range of how they take to the sport. And I feel like guys are even comfortable to play in Nippon professional baseball for their whole career rather than stepping foot on a major league field during their time frame of their professional ranks. You look at a guy like Sarahara O, who played in the 60s to the early 80s for the Yomiuri Kyojin Giants. Yes, the Kyojins are like the evil empire of so like the Yankees. Yeah, that's the way of saying the evil empire in Japanese, Kyojin. So they're the kings of always winning, the Yomiuri Giants. And he didn't have the height and the size at the time, Sarahara O, but he was a good slap ball hitter to a driven player that would put one out of the yard. I mean, he had 868 home runs. So I don't know what MLB scouts at the time didn't see in him besides his frame. But, for Masanori Murakami, who was the first Japanese player to play for the San Francisco Giants in the 1960s, and then to go back to Japan to finish his career, it's just been a game where it's like been elevated. I feel like Japan has influenced baseball so much that they have a higher up professional softball league now. They have a higher professional women's baseball league now. And they, as in the country itself of Japan, they ran with the American ideas. And, you're seeing now with the women's professional baseball league that's starting up in the next few months. They just had their draft a few weeks ago. Athletes Unlimited softball's in their third season. So it's just the game is growing in other rankings. And I feel like Japan, they just play the game so different. And we don't see a lot of bunting in the major league level anymore that we did in the 90s, the early 2000s with the pitcher hitting in the National League. So it's kind of like a died out range of like where the game is now. And to be honest, what gets fans in the seats is the home run ball. We saw it in 1998 in the steroid era with, McGuire and Sosa. So it's like, I don't care for the home run ball. I mean, it's cool to see strikeouts. I mean, we're not Bull Durham sitting here that strikeouts are fascists. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't like strikeouts? I think that's part of the game, to really elevate and beat a hitter certain wavelengths of frame innings. But, like, I just feel like the game is different now. I think it's elevating to another length, and it's cool to see that the game's growing. I mean, the Tokyo Dome, like I said, earlier, like one venue that I feel like in Japan that's had the World Baseball Classic since 2006. Every other venue has changed up. Hiram Bethorn Stadium, Houston has it for the first year. We were talking about spring training stadiums, in 2006 of the World Baseball Classic venues. Now you got 38,000 seat stadiums being, or 40,000 plus being like a multi length of where the game's growing for that event to happen in a few years. But Dodger Stadium, 56,000 for the Olympics in 2028. That's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be a great time frame for where the game is going globally. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for global baseball.
Yeah, awesome. Really. I mean, that's unbelievable. One quick thing I wanted to ask you about the potential, the first baseman, Monica, what's his name? What is it?
Kasuma Okamoto. Are you talking about him?
Murakami. The rumors are that he can't hit a fastball past 92. Is that true? Is that true, Matt? That he can't hit a fastball more than 92 miles an hour, Murakami?
The reception was kind of getting a little dialed into your question. Can you just repeat the question again?
Okay. There's a lot of people. We're hearing a lot of facts that Murakami cannot hit a fastball more than 92 miles an hour. Do you agree with that perception? Oh, I don't think he's hearing us. Do you hear me, Matt?
Yeah, it was the reception length of some of it. Yeah. Can you repeat the question that he can't hit a fastball?
Yeah.
How fast?
He can't. We're hearing that after 92, 93, he's a strikeout machine. Do you agree with that?
If he's an all right, so like if he's an all-star multi-years when he's healthy, I mean, like something's got to give. He's not facing major league talent consistently at the Nippon professional baseball level, and I feel like you can't really compare to a guy that what's 93 or what's 88 to 89 on a changeup that he can't hit. That's a hard three-finger fastball. So it's a lot of different evaluation in Japan because, I mean, he's won the Central League twice. He won the Triple Crown in 2022. He's a four-time All-Star, World Baseball Classic champion, Japan Series champion, Olympic champion too in 2020. He has the resume. Does he have the resume to play at the major league level? I think it's a built-in length of what we can see once he gets posted and once he plays in a few major league games in his career to see where he plays. I just feel like a lot of people get ahead of themselves because if you watch that World Baseball Classic in the semifinals of 2023, when he hit that game-winning double against Mexico, are people saying, oh, yeah, like, he hit it off a guy that was playing in Liga Mexicana de Baseball or the major leagues just to, like, make a mark of his career and get notarization in the United States with that game being at Lone Depot Park. So I feel like people can't get ahead of themselves. I think he's a good player when he's healthy and is serviceable. But 93, I think anybody could hit a fastball 93. Are you saying that to like Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts? It's like when you're elite at that level, you can dial it in. But 93 in NPB, 95 mid-90s, or some lengths of other guys going high 90s that are not even touching a major league field yet at that rate, but are playing in a competitive league like NPB. To each his own. I think he's got a lot of potential, but with certain injuries that he's been upholding these last few years, you don't know. So I think like that's why he wants to play in Japan for another year. And, by 2027, if we do have a major league season, I think that, he's very capable of shining under the lights here in the United States or Toronto. So we'll see.
Right.
But I think he can hit a fastball at 93. I don't see why that couldn't be the case for other critics to think that.
We're getting breaking news from Nitin Sports Rush. The Minnesota Twins are signing first base DH Josh Bell. They're in an agreement of a 1-year deal per multiple reports. So that's Josh Bell's a good little ball player in the middle of the lineup. He's got some pop. Can't run, of course, as a lot of Yankees can't either. But I think that's a good solid deal for them for 1 year. What do you think about that? And also, we have a thumbnail of you from the show that you were next to Dylan Cease. Tell us a little bit about Dylan Cease.
I just talked to him for a few minutes and congratulate him. Nothing crazy. You can't really have a fan retrospect when you're networking with a lot of colleagues. He was on foul territory for a few minutes with AJ Przinsky and a lot of other guys. Eric Kratz too was there.
Right.
So it's just a different perspective. The winter meetings are a great time to network and build a lot of relationships. You got guys like Jeff Passan, John Heyman, Tim Healy. So like a lot of different reporters that come around there that you want to just network with and be a part of a lot of certain, climate link stuff in the game. I think it's a good time to understand. I mean, the Blue Jays had a press conference there at the Hilton at Disney. And I just felt like I just said, hey, Dylan, I like a lot of the stuff that you do. This is my card. I'll take a quick picture with you, and that's it. I think he's He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders to carry with the Toronto Blue Jays, with the defending American League champion organization themselves. And yeah, I feel like, it's going to be interesting to see what, Dylan Cease can uphold in a different market like Toronto than where he's been the last few seasons in the major leagues. But yeah, it was a cool time for him at the winter meetings. Got to meet a lot of different new colleagues too that are very open-minded about World Baseball Network. They like the project. There's a lot of assessment work that is unique in reporting that you don't have to be writing about the Aaron Judges, the Otanis of the game. Now, there's a lot of good talent that I said before in the show that are happening right now in the Caribbean, right now in Australia. So it's really interesting to see on what can be assessed with. And I feel like, a few days ago, I met up with D. Gordon at the Florida Farm League, and there's guys that played at the European Federation professional level. One player, my colleague Taj Cunningham, he plays for the United States Virgin Islands. They just came off the 2025 Caribbean Cup at Andre Rogers Stadium in the Bahamas. It's a 4-year-old stadium right now, National Stadium in the Bahamas. They just had the Don't Blink Home Run Derby in the Nassau, Bahamas area too, and the celebrity softball game they had at Andre Rogers. So yeah, I mean, like the game, like I said, is growing. It's what you can network with. I think, you don't have to be a good writer to really write on big level talent in Major League Baseball. I feel like you follow one guy consistently throughout the low affiliates to the major leagues, and that builds in fruition on what you want to be in media, to be honest. And seeing what we're seeing in like the guys like Jeff Passan that had to start out from other lengths, or John Heyman too. But yeah, World Baseball Network, I think it's a great, concept or a great product to really drive in these players that need exposure. And, being at the Florida Farm League in Orlando on Saturday and getting to talk to the 2015 National League batting champion D. Gordon, and him being a 2-time All-Star, it was interesting to see that he knows his grassroots. To give back to the community and kids that want to get another opportunity to play. And guys like him don't need to do that made several amount of money, millions of dollars in the major leagues, but they do it because they love the game, and they know how much these kids really needed to come up in the pipeline and get exposure. So yeah, it was great to be in Orlando the last few days for sure, and come down to Doral again, to where my home is.
Well, I'll say, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was gonna ask you the other big guy out of Japan, or his name gets mentioned a lot, is Kazuma Okamoto.
Yeah, the Yomiuri Giants. Yeah. I mean, he's played a long time in NPB. I don't feel like he's going to be a threat at the major league level. He's a guy, that you feel comfortable playing in Japan, because you don't want to take that pay cut in the major league. You're not going to see many Otanis that range from like enormous amount contracts after playing in one market. They go cross town, like Los Angeles and Anaheim. So I just, Okamoto, I feel like he's not going to really give a lot of eyes to MLB scouts or MLB front offices, because I just feel like he's played a lot of years in NPB. So it's like, if he plays a few seasons in the MLB, does he really make a longevity career out of being in his early, near mid-30s? I don't think so. But, to each his own. I feel like he is a good player. He's definitely a Japanese Hall of Famer when it's all said and done with his career. But it will be interesting to see what other MLB front offices would assess around him being on their roster for sure.
Yeah, I just thought he'd be an interesting role player. Like, I wasn't seeing him. I mean, but the fact that, he only struck out 33 times each season, when I was looking at his stats, I was like, wow, low strikeout, high contact rate. And, we have a lot of guys, especially on the Yankees, who are high strikeout guys, getting struck out 200 times a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that free swinging.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually 29. So, like, I just feel that, you know, like if you played like certain amount of years in the major leagues, in Japan for that matter, because that is a major league, you know, it's kind of hard for me to like really evaluate from that. And he's also coming off an injury too this past year. So I feel like there's just a little bit of a difference of how you can really work around a guy like Akamoto. Can he really like transfer his mechanics, you know, to Major League Baseball? Him being 29, it could work, but like it's not like 3 years ago I could have told you that he would have been a serviceable player for somebody like San Diego, like we saw with Ha-Seong Kim for a little bit as well out of Korea. South Korea. So yeah, it's just, you know, you never know with some of these guys. They're crapshoot players. It's rare to find the Otanis with the diamond in the rough like that, or the Dice K's of those stages. Hideo Nomos that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, it's cool to see where you know, the Japanese landscape is transferring out to the major league level during this time frame.
I'll tell you, it's amazing. You brought a wealth of knowledge. First of all, I commend you. I mean, you're amazing. I mean, the knowledge that you know in all of this. And here's my next question to you: you have to be writing a book. I mean, that is something that you really should be doing. If you don't want to do it, I'll help you.
It's a lot of timeline stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just the global baseball, you know, landscape it's just growing. I mean, all these tournaments that ever taken place, you know, we're talking about World Cups, right? We've had the Baseball World Cup before, but it was an amateur level event prior to 2011 or 2013 when the World Baseball Classic became the main tier of the World Cup of Baseball. All these tournaments are always getting looked over. You have had Cuba dominate the Pan American Games from the 80s and 90s, and the Central American and Caribbean Games from that time frame too. Yeah, international baseball has a lot of different levels to where it's grown, you know, since the 80s until now. And like USA Baseball is very young. USA Baseball has only been around since the late 70s. So it's cool to see what they're doing in Major League Baseball as well in that matter.
Now, being the fact of the wealth of knowledge that you have in this, I see a golden opportunity for sports shows that would go into the international markets, and you keep educating them what they're about to see. And you're getting close to the WBC games, let's say in Italy, let's just say. Why not concentrate a little bit in the European markets and start educating them a little bit more than what they know about baseball, and that will make it grow and grow and grow. I personally don't see a lot of shows. I've asked my relatives in Italy. They said there really isn't much. We know Yankees, but that's really all about it. And I think somebody like yourself, you're getting into the Italy market and you start promoting, you start talking about, hey, you know, tomorrow is going to be blah, 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 and you're going to keep going. I see a tremendous something you can grow really big out there, and do it from America if you really wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. But concentrate on something like that, Matt. I think you hit a home run. I
appreciate it a lot. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, Italy, with, you know, the work that World Baseball Network has done with the Italian American Baseball Foundation since the World Baseball Network's inception period, December 2021. We've networked with a lot of colleagues out there on that side of the world. Chris Vaccaro has been a huge help too to grow on content throughout the IABF, and his work as the dean of Hofstra, you know, School of Journalism on Hempstead. And their trips to Italy have been great too. On their side, I haven't took a baseball trip to Italy right now with other lengths of my time schedule, but I want to go to Italy for reasonings around that. There's a lot of work within the World Baseball Softball Confederation. Their headquarters are in actually Puglia, Switzerland, as alongside the International Olympic Committee. So it's cool to see that that side of the world is growing other wavelengths of the game itself, with those offices being there on that side of the world. There's a lot of different sports that are coming out with baseball too. Baseball 5, people don't know about it. It's like a handball, eye-hand coordination sport. They play like on a supplement concrete surface kind of, or platform surface may have you, and it's like handball. You have the path of your swing to the level of where the handball is going, and that's how you get driven contact. And there's eye-hand coordination work through that. There's rankings that countries are playing through with that alignment from Baseball 5, that the World Baseball Softball Confederation President Ricardo Ficari has done a magnificent job trying to promote more. I love to have boots on the ground work about Baseball 5, because to level in certain content, it just has to come down to like being there present, and just knowing about other different tactics of the game too, like Baseball 5, that could work around a sport like baseball to build around 5 tools. But yeah, like it's cool to see where Italy's growing, and it's just going to keep growing. And
I think you could be in this. I mean, let's say you or anybody, I still believe, because I know a lot of people in Italy, and believe me, I mean, forget it. They're not going to go and just automatically turn on a baseball game. But if you go in a market of YouTube or whatever is popular over there, or Facebook, and you throw a podcast on there leading up to everything, and you're getting them acknowledged, I believe that is going to, because you got to lead it to them. They're going to put on the TV to watch their music, to watch the soccer. That's what they're going to do. But you have a market here, Matt, that I believe, and I mean, with your knowledge, it would be unbelievable, you giving an education to it doesn't have to be the Italian community, it can be anybody in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And I if I had that knowledge, I'd jump on it faster than a plane.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Go ahead. What you were saying? I didn't want to cut you off.
No. I just really believe you could be a big help, especially Italian baseball, if you gave your knowledge to them as the Classic's about to start. I'm telling you, Matt, it would blow people's mind, and you would get them interested, and there'll be more kids getting into baseball in Italy. I can talk for Italy. In Italy, I really believe that, and you are the vehicle. You can do this.
Yeah. I appreciate a lot of those words. And like, I actually kind of created the platform too, World Baseball Network, because in light of Tommy Lasorda being such a global ambassador to the game, when he was here with us, that also being Italian American, it's kind of like, it's just head. I'm just head over heels to know that the game is global. Yes, it is America's pastime, but Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Mexico, they've had it the same time as us. So to say that it's our pastime now, it's a global game. Big reason why I started this was in light of Tommy Lasorda's legacy, off the record, to like really grow the passion of global baseball, and he had that. For the United States, beating Cuba in the gold medal game in Sydney in 2000, that was like a spark to me to see, as a 7-year-old, as a 6-year-old, to see where the game is growing. And like at a young age, I was like, wow, like he really led a team with guys like Doug Mankiewicz, Ben Sheets. And Cuba was always winning these gold medals, like I said before, for these tournaments at the Pan American Games, at the Central American and Caribbean Games. We can even say the same thing about Atlanta in '96 at Fulton County Stadium with guys like Omar Linares, Ariel Pestano, like I said before. I mean, the list goes on about the talent these countries have had. Then the professional landscape of global baseball coming after in 1999 in the Pan American Games, to have current minor league guys from that 2000 roster to be such a big contributor and beating a mighty powerhouse like Cuba that only had strain-held amateur players that can only leave under their own defect and claim asylum. Says a lot. Where the game has grown globally. And the World Baseball Classic, everyone is buying into it. Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr. for a second consecutive event. It's amazing to see. And Gunnar Henderson, we're going to see too. I mean, this is just an event that the United States now wants to go for it all. Then when it first started, it was just we were the pickpocketers of not knowing how much this meant to us because Japan brought the best talent in the pond professional baseball. At those rate of the tournament, the Dominican Republic, we could say in 2013, they care when they have held major league guys, the Dominican Republic, they want this. And now we could say, oh, wow, it's like, it's a crapshoot for everybody. Who knows? Maybe Venezuela comes for it all in Miami too, and they improve on certain sides of their bullpen besides the offense they're going to have on paper for Omar Lopez and that team in Pool D and Venezuela in Pool D for that matter at Lone Depot Park in the next few months. It's just a lot. It's a lot to see where the game is growing. And it's going to keep growing. It's not going to, and maybe we'll not get to soccer in our lifetime, but it has the pedigree of where spotted countries want to grow with the game. I mean, like you could even say about like what's going on in Africa. Guys like Dennis Kasumba that Nithin Ramakandra can vouch for, that's from Africa, that's looking to get signed. He played in the MLB Draft League a few years ago. It's really cool to see where a lot of lengths of the game are growing on other continents, and it's only going to keep growing. Baseball United, I could talk for hours about Baseball United. It's great to see what Cash Shake is doing. They just finished up their first season, like I said before, so it's amazing to see how much of the game is going to keep elevating from here on out, for sure.
You're right. Yeah, and it's awesome, and I just want it promoted better in the Italy facet. That's what I want, because I think the other countries they are in it. They know the Dominican Republic, and I think Italy is lacking that. I really do, and because I mean I talk to people, there's no shows, there's nothing. They got baseball. What's this in baseball? I don't understand. The guy with the bat and he swings, but if somebody explains it to them in a manner, it's going to work. And I just, if I could do it, I would do it, Matt. I'm exploding to do it, but it's hard because, I mean, I understand everything in Sicilian, Napolitan, and even Barese. But to talk it outright, it would be a little difficult for me. But if I could, if I would have an interpreter or whatever, I would promote that baby like you wouldn't believe.
Right. It's great to see, like, what other documentaries had facilitated with even European baseball. Like, there's been a few WBSC content relevance. Riccardo Scrioli, he's pretty much a guy in media that works for the WBSC Europe sector. He's made documentaries separate of the growth of Italy with baseball, like I said, about 1947 in Nettuno. You go outside these cities, Parma, Nettuno, certain regions in Bologna, they don't know. They don't know about baseball. It's like a bubble ecosystem that it's stuck there in one area itself. And at those time frames in the 50s, the European championships were really big for Italy because they kept winning consistent. They had Americans give clinics out there consistently, even in the 60s. Lenny Randall, who played in Italy, he was with the Rangers. He was with a few other major league teams.
He was with the Yankees and Mets.
Yeah. He played in Italy for a few years professionally. So it's kind of interesting to say, like, Serie A 1 from the Federazione Italiana Baseball Softball is a premier league for its Europe lane, but yet again, how does it trickle into like guys that want to play professionally that can't get a shot in the minor leagues with an MLB organization, make their way up? That there's backups. There's backups to play in Mexico, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Europe too. And it's an interesting wavelength to say, oh yeah, like you're a pro athlete, but yeah, you're not a major league held player, but you have the chance to play professionally in a different in different areas of the world. I think it's an incredible resume to build around. As a professional baseball player, regardless of the money you're not seeing, like the Juan Sotos, the Shohei Otanis, and so forth, I think like, it's cool that you're sticking in the game, and it's a matter of fact of where it's going to be from here on out for sure.
Right. And what surprised me was, in 07, 08, and even in 09, 2010, my deployments to Iraq while I was in the military.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your service.
You would actually, yes,
Yeah.
no problem. It was a following in my family tradition, but and it was an honor. Everybody's worth it. But what struck me is, how like soccer, everybody eats, sleeps, and breathes soccer over there. But next to that, you would see merchandise, Yankees, Dodgers, out of like sportsmen and the bazaars. So I was like, wow. And imagine if somebody could actually like really get in there and try, because I don't think they have any leagues other than what you see people playing soccer over there, or football, as they call it.
Yeah, like, all right, so like MLB in Japan, yeah, it's like those games for them are in the morning, right? Or some sections of their night. And it's a double whammy lane because it's like, all right, I can be an NPB fan. I'm from this city in Japan. I rep that city, but I like this MLB team for that reason, or because this player that I follow from Japan plays for that team. The Dodgers logo, the Yankees logo. It's a driven market to see around the world that people wear their memorabilia, or they wear their figurative apparel with Major League Baseball, or have their memorabilia from other custom items in that lane too. Japan, it's a very interesting country to see that. When I walked in that Tokyo Dome for the 2024 Premier 12 last November, the Japanese Hall of Fame caught my eye, because you see different hats from high school programs. You see different hats from collegiate programs. You see different hats from either current or former NPB franchises, or merging NPB franchises that have like relocated, or their names have changed in the same city. And I was like, wow, like I knew this, it was all digital. To find this on the World Wide Web, we're not going to a library to look up Japanese baseball. And these are the books we're curating to find information now, because we're living in this, time frame of how digital compliances are. And I'm just like, wow, like there's a plaque for Ichiro because he got in that year, and then he got into Cooperstown. Shigeo Nagashima, who's the all-time stolen base leader in Japanese baseball history, who Ricky Henderson actually kind of gave his lane of his mechanics to, that really like sheltered where his career was. And you could say the same thing about Ichiro. I actually asked Ichiro that question at the National Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony this past July in Cooperstown. What did Shigeo Nagashima mean to your game, of how you ran the bases, you knew other tactics, you knew how to work around other lengths of other jumps you could get off from the base pass? And he spoke in Japanese, and then his interpreter said, yeah, like he meant a lot to me. He meant a lot to me in, the way I played the game, the way I like really took discipline to the game of baseball, how to treat my coaches with respect, because it's a big honorary lane in Japan that, you don't always have to be that guy, or like you saw with the 70s with the Billy Martins, or like certain lanes that players have a big ego, but in Japan it's all about respect. Than what we see in the United States realm. And Shigeo Nagashima kind of gave that length of when he was alive to Ichiro that you never see Ichiro got thrown out of the game.
No.
You know what I mean? As much. Maybe for that one time he thought that the pitch was outside to point the bat in the direction, but that's about it. You know, so it's like they play the game such a different manner. It's like that's their gentleman's sport, baseball, while here the gentleman's sport's tennis. You know, like the Mudville Nine, like we're so used to like the culture of dip, trash talking, you know, like a different facet of the game of baseball than how they see it when they play with like a different chip on their shoulder. So it was cool to ask that question, and I felt like a lot of reporters didn't have the urge to really say what this player in Japan meant for your success in the major leagues on how I elaborated it to Ichiro and his interpreter during this past induction in Cooperstown.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other question, I know we was talking about Cuba and how, like, remember players had to defect from Cuba to come play here. And you know, two of them is, you know, Orlando Hernandez, El Duque,
Correct.
and his older brother Ruben.
Levon
Or
Hernandez.
Levon, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
for the Marlins. Yep.
Right. And then now you see a lot of them coming out there. What do you think that those two brothers, the effect they had on other Cuban players and coming out here more easily?
I mean, like I could say the same about Rene Arocha, you know, who played for St. Louis. He played for a lot of other teams too. Prior to El Duque coming from Cuba, he played for, you know, the Industriales. They're like the Yankees of Cuban baseball. The Industriales de La Habana. They're like, you know, they're basically, like I said before, the Kyojins of Caribbean baseball. You know, DR has Tigres del Licey with the most Serie del Caribe championships. So like El Duque came from a renowned franchise with a lot of Cuban talent, Industriales. I mean, you can't tell me even what he made his mark in '98 when he stepped onto a major league field and gave the Yankees a lot of momentum with that pitching staff in '98 that I just thought he brought flavor to the team. I think it was like the high leg kick, through like certain ethos length pitches that were like really slow, 12-6 curveballs, splitters that were just like really lengthed out and would just drop last minute, like Roger Clemens used to throw back in the day and pitch around in sequence left to right, north to south. I just feel like El Duque had this window that is still breeding in today, like we see with Raciel Iglesias too as a closer. Played for the Atlanta Braves for a little bit. You know, even certain Cuban Americans too, like Gio Gonzalez, who had a lengthened out career. I just feel that you know, there's just a lot of different players now that when the art of pitching, you know, like comes around in a different landfill, and you could say the same thing about Pedro Martinez. I think he innovated the game for Dominican Republic pitchers.
Right.
To be honest, like we're seeing with Sandy Alcantara, you know, like pitchers like him. Maybe Luis Hill has a bounce back year, wherever his landscape may take him. But I just feel like there's a lot of different players, man, in Latin America that are still making stride. You know, there's just going to be a lot of talent coming out of what we're going to see, even for teams like Mexico. Look at Andres Munez. like he didn't give up an earned run until like the middle of the year. Like that is unheard of. And he's going to be the closer for Mexico, this World Baseball Classic. So, yeah, I just think there's a big opportunity to fill. Yeah, there's a lot of like political lanes right now still with how the visas are going to work with the World Baseball Classic, and then other outlets saying that they weren't going to go, you know, to Puerto Rico. But now it's like, you know, you have to have Cuba there. It sells. Their product sells because it's the name. They might not have a lot of MLB talent committed. The last tournament, they had Luis Robert, Yohan Moncada. Miguel Romero, Roenis Elias, Andy Ibanez, the main length of Cuban MLB players for the first time since the embargo began in 1959, 1960 under the Fidel Castro regime.
Right.
So I mean, like Cuba, if they were to bring in a perfect world, Jordan Alvarez, Adalis Garcia, players into that nature, I think, or Randy Rosarena too. He's going to play for Mexico. It would be a different landscape of how they would assess around winning this event. And when they got to the World Baseball Classic in 2006, a lot of teams, like I said before, weren't buying in it, or they weren't buying into the event itself. And now I feel like that Cuba, you can't have an MLB product on the field. You can't compete. You can't go far in an event like the World Baseball Classic. And Puerto Rico's coming in for it all. Colombia's in that group. Panama's in that group. Canada got a high affiliate and MLB talent too, like Josh and Bo Naylor. I just feel like, it's going to be interesting to see where, teams like that in Pool A are going to move on. Because I think that's the group of death. You can't sell me Venezuela, DR. They're the favorites in Miami. Maybe the Netherlands can knock them off but that group outside of Puerto Rico and Pool A, it's a crapshoot. Easily, because you got players in Colombia playing right now in their league in the winter leagues, other Colombian players playing in the winter leagues. Panama, you got Ivan Herrera, Christian Benacourt, Alan Cordova's playing for the Yaquis de Obregon in Liga Arco Mexicana del Pacifico, who's a good player and played a little bit of serviceable years at the major league level. Panama is going to come for it all too, so you can't really sit back to me and say, Pool D is the group of death than how it was the last time in the World Baseball Classic. But for that matter, I think it's cool to see, where everything is right now. I think the talent's there for certain teams. I think it's going to be an evaluated deal for the winter leagues to come around too and end up for the next month. The Caribbean Series happening in Caracas, Venezuela. As of now, we don't know yet if they're going to move it out of Caracas, Venezuela. So a lot of talks are happening today, actually, whenever you guys get this posted. But the CBPC, the Caribbean Baseball Professional Confederation, they're having a summit meeting today to announce possibly the schedule of the 2026 Caribbean Series in Caracas, Venezuela, at Estadio Simón Bolívar, La Rinconada, which is a new stadium. If you guys want to check this out now or share a screen to see how this stadium, it's like a 38,000 seat stadium in Latin America, Estadio Simón Bolívar. Take a look at this now, actually. This stadium is unreal. It looks like Nationals Park, but in a country where people aren't making the near cents to the dollar to escape out on living. But it's crazy. It's the biggest stadium in Latin America, but really the nicest stadiums are in Mexico because Mexico has two leagues for the spring and summer and the winter right now too. So we'll see a lot to look forward to in the global landscape. World Baseball Classic, the Caribbean Series, Major League camps reporting soon. For all over other countries, it's just a lot to look forward to. I guess to talk about hours about how this is an amazing time for international baseball.
Right. No, I love it because when you see guys, because I grew up watching the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
So when Ichiro came and then even Hideki Matsui and all those guys came and then you remember the Diamondbacks had that closer, Kim.
Yeah, Bayon Kim. Yeah, he's South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just it was amazing seeing it, and then now that it's become the way it is, and Joe could tell us about the days of Roberto Clemente and Tessa Beads and all those guys.
Juan Marichal, Orlando Cepeda,
Fernando Venezuela.
Yeah, Fernando Mania. Right. The Latin growth in Major League Baseball and the sport itself has just it's taken new heights. 26% of African Americans played in the 1970s and were filled with rosters. That's been reversed. Shout out to Players Alliance because they're really the footprint right now to give baseball back in urban cities throughout the United States, Toronto and other places from along this hemisphere to really, push the game forward in inner cities, and how, certain communities want to keep having baseball in these areas. The Dominican Republic, I mean, it's just baseball is just their first priority, like it's just in their blood, growing up with, like a paper box glove or just a stick bat. I mean, sports like Vitella, stickball that transcends to baseball. I mean, you hear stories about Mariano Rivera growing up in Panama, about the equipment they had in that part of the world in Panama. It's like it's an unreal length of where the game has grown, for that matter, and to be, have the players produce in these countries where it's limited equipment, like limited resources, or countries like Venezuela too, that there's a lot of players that are coming out of Venezuela after the Dominican Republic, or the Dominican Republic first, then Venezuela, and it's like they don't have a lot of resources to really work around with certain length of having equipment or getting to that length. But yeah, it's interesting to see that. I hope baseball can keep growing. I mean, like the HBCU Classic is a big perk during the All-Star game weekend. Hank Aaron Invitational is a really big pillar for Major League Baseball to keep doing that as well. MLB RBI, MLB Play Ball. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see like a lot of outlines Major League Baseball is doing still to like get baseball back in these communities that are limited, and hopefully more kids can just, pick up the sport than just football and basketball that we're seeing more and more for the last 35 years. So
right.
One thing, and we got some couple of questions here from Bob. And he says that world best baseball is all great and everything, but I want to know, what do you really feel? Do you think at all the Yankees are going to change this in this winter at all?
No, it's just, I feel like it's not the ownership that it once was. I feel like the Red Sox could have a bad year the following year, and then they could make up for it to the next year. The Yankees, they could still be an above 500 team certain years, but I just feel like the expectations are just different now than ever. I just feel like, they won't win a World Series probably for another 5 or 6 years. If I had to like look into a crystal ball and make a prediction, I think a lot of the other market teams, like I said, San Diego, Toronto, like those teams are kind of really, landscaping of what's going on now in the game. Seattle, we could say the same thing about the Mariners too. I think they're going to be a team to really, be up top of Major League Baseball. I think we'll probably see a Mariners World Series in the next half decade before we see the Yankees win their 28th.
Wow.
To be honest.
And they don't have one, right? They haven't won.
Haven't been to a World Series. They haven't they haven't won an American League pennant in the history of their franchise.
Man.
Yeah.
And they've had good teams.
Yeah, 2001. 2001, Mike Cameron, Ichiro,
Edgar Martinez.
What's up? Which other player?
Edgar Martinez, Brett Boone. Yeah, they had a lot of guys.
Jay Bruner.
Yeah, Jay Bruner. Right. I mean, the 95 ALDS, I was only a year and a half years old. I was only like 18 months old, you could say. And like, it's cool to watch like MLB Network documentaries about that team that was like the series that saved baseball in Seattle, because they were going to be the team that was going to move to Tampa at the time. And then, Major League Baseball stepped in and then just got an expansion franchise because they saw like, the market of Seattle really creeping up with having a Major League team, and, fans at the time filling up the Kingdome, during the mid 90s prior to Safeco opening up in like 98, 99. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see like some of these like franchises now, like does Charlotte get a team? Salt Lake City, Are these the markets that are kind of creeping up to where Major League Baseball can go far? Nashville. I think Nashville is the biggest front runner out of these two cities. I like Salt Lake a lot, but I think Nashville is probably going to be the next team to get it. But then you need another city too to make it an even league itself. I think Nashville, Salt Lake City are the top two teams right now to get a new expansion franchise. Top two cities. Orlando, their executive group was actually at the winter meetings at Disney a few weeks ago. Barry Larkin, who's very involved with Baseball United, he was there with other several colleagues too. I didn't get a chance to interview them about the Orlando Dreamers, what they want to name the franchise of. But I think it could be interesting, but 40 teams, maybe 40 teams in Major League Baseball, 36. I just named like 6 cities that are potential candidates. So you're growing a product where you got to expand divisions, you got to expand the National League, American League to make it even. And it's like what happens with the Portland Oregons or the San Antonios, the Austins, maybe Austin, Texas.
Montreal.
Which other city?
Montreal. I know some people.
Yeah, Montreal with the Expos, right? And then it's like that's like 36, 38 teams we just named as a candidate lane for a next MLB franchise. So it's like you run a business that's 162 games, 81 home games for each franchise. The principle of marketing has to come into play of where you're gonna really give the fans more of a reason to buy a ticket and put butts in the seats. So it's a lot. It's a lot to look forward to where the game is growing. And I feel like there's a lot of markets in the United States and Montreal, as we just mentioned, to get a team back. San Antonio, I like San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great city to get a major league franchise. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, though. But Salt Lake, Nashville's my first one. Then you have to make it even, so you have to go with another city too. So Nashville, Salt Lake are my two favorites right now to get a major league franchise. And after that, Charlotte, Orlando is the last two. What about you guys? What's your next? I guess we're wrapping up this show soon, or how long you guys want to have me. But what are your next cities that you guys want to like to see a major league franchise in?
Well, I know down here in Florida, I wouldn't mind seeing Orlando. I mean, you were speaking about how Disney World, I went to 06 spring training when the Braves and the Yankees were playing at the World of Sports, ESPN Park. And yeah, I got to see that live. I was like 18. And but I wouldn't mind Orlando, but I know there's rumors speculating because I live here in Florida about the Rays possibly moving to Orlando. Is there any truth to that, or
it's just talk? It's rumors. I mean, the Rays just got a new ownership recently too, so it's like it's a lot of different topics to work around. I mean, like, what are we seeing with Vegas now with the A's? With Fisher, it's like John Fisher. It's like you're gonna be in a market where, like the Raiders moved from Oakland. They had a new identity with the Golden Knights. I'm not a hockey fan personally. And then the Aces, the WNBA franchise in Vegas too, is like their new baby as an expansion. A lot of people in Vegas, not to correlate to what you said about the Rays possibly in Orlando, a lot of people in Vegas don't want the Aces to be an identity. They want a new identity team. They just feel like that. What is the legacy of the A's coming into our area going to bring in demand? And Las Vegas being such a touristic outlook city, a lot of degenerate gamblers, a lot of venture capital people in hospitality. When you have 81 games, I'm going to tell you something. You're not packing that stadium every night unless it's Dodgers, the big market teams. But the avid fans are the gamblers. So you got sports betting practically 75% of the country right now is legalized in online sports gambling. When that stadium gets built where the Tropicana was in Vegas, that Bally's complex, you're probably going to draw like, I think it's going to fit what, like 40,000 people. You're probably going to draw like 25,000, 26,000 people a game. Corporate suites, um, corporate boxes, corporate suites. The amenities are going to be kind of like filled in on that whole complex. You have an alternative to go to a baseball game or go to the strip because you're right there. The fan outline is going to be more gamblers.
Right.
It's a different outlook of what times we're in now because betting is you had players like Charlie Blackmon that were like the endorsement role of DraftKings when he was a current major leaguer. You got DraftKings on billboards in legalized states where they have venues and arenas and stadiums on FanDuel, so forth. And Vegas, to be honest, I could see an all-star game being held there. Will there ever be a neutral site World Series? I don't think so because of how much the money these teams make. But then yet again, they'll still make more money because of TV rights deals if you put a neutral site World Series in Las Vegas. So it's like a 50-50 lane of what benefits to have that. But I just feel like the A's won't draw as much unless big market teams come in. You get that here. You get that here in Miami. You get that here with the Yankees, the Dodgers. The Yankees don't play every certain years in Miami. You get that with the Mets because they play every year. Baltimore used to have spring training, down here in Miami. So it's like you have the fallback of other fans from the Northeast that come down here, and that's it. Bruce Sherman doesn't want to really put asses in the seats because he can write it as a tax write-off off the record to break even on other finances, to work around what his market is or not spend to like compete with what the payroll is of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Yankees, and the Chicago Cubs, big market teams to that matter. But yeah, I just feel like for a new city, a new opportunity, that it would be cool that, Salt Lake just got an NHL team. It would be cool for them to get an MLB team. Nashville has had a minor league market. Salt Lake has had a minor league market. And then for those cities to equalize on an MLB market team, I mean, they got to do it like that because Charlotte has the same outline too. Orlando doesn't really have a minor league team. So they're putting a different parameter. If you get a team in Orlando, you've had spring training in the past. You've had the Magic since 1988. So it would be a win-win to get a new market in a phase like Orlando to like bridge it. I just don't see the Rays moving out of Tampa ownership group.
Well, and then the other city I thought would be interesting too would be Birmingham, Alabama.
Thought of that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because there's the historic. Well, in Iowa too, but the historic part of Birmingham, the Birmingham Barons, Red Barons, the Negro League.
Negro Leagues, yeah, they do a game there.
That was where Willie Mays came out of.
Rickwood Field.
Right. I know they played there to honor the Negro League when they had the Giants and the Cardinals play there with the throwback unis. I just thought, as a history buff, me personally, part of that would be like it would be cool to see a new team there. I mean, I know they did the same thing with the Royals with Kansas City.
Monarchs,
the Royals. But
yeah, if you're gonna go Birmingham, you got to go New Orleans because it doesn't. You can't coincide like Birmingham has never had an NFL team. They've never had an NHL team. They've never had an NBA team. So you're cracking into a demographic where they never had test out these three other leagues. Alabama doesn't even have sports betting or their own lottery. So you're putting in a pro sports franchise, one of four of the major pro sports leagues in the world outside the NHL, the NBA, and the NFL. The market's not a test assessment because there's other bigger markets but New Orleans, there's no room to put a Major League Baseball stadium in downtown New Orleans. So where the Zephyrs used to play by Kenner, the airport over there and stuff, that rides right through Interstate 10. That would be the only lane of where you could build an MLB stadium. But how many people are coming out from downtown New Orleans to go to that side of the stadium when they got to go past like really rough neighborhoods, Holly Grove, it's just like it's a lot of demographics to like really work around into that matter of where you're going to put a major league team, and then the New Orleans Saints, their training facility is right by the airport too. So most people that even travel that way that are Saints fans, they're really going there for like July and early August during preseason to just like see their team practice. Besides some lanes of them practicing in the Superdome before week 1 obviously comes around in the NFL. But I think you go Birmingham, you got to go New Orleans. That it doesn't. It's got to be coincided, and it's got to be a market base of how it can work. But that's a wild card pick, though.
Yeah,
honestly, that's cool.
that's the thing. What about you, Evan?
Well, I was thinking of Iowa because of the Field of Dreams, but like Matthew just said, I just don't think because they don't have any other professional teams. I was also thinking of maybe like Indiana, maybe Indianapolis, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a cool deal. Indianapolis, you have the Indians there, the Pirates affiliate, AAA affiliate. Iowa is very interesting. Well, which city we're talking about? Des Moines, because that's where the Iowa Cubs play.
Yeah, Des Moines. Yeah, Des Moines.
Des Moines, so the center of the state. Okay. Omaha, Nebraska, to be honest, is my weird one because like you got the NCAA College World Series there every year. You have the Big Ten tournament. You got Creighton that plays at the TD Ameritrade Park. Well, Charles Schwab Field now in downtown Omaha. And the Omaha Storm Chasers are the AAA affiliate of Kansas City. I think that's a cool market to do it, but like you haven't tested the NBA, the NHL, the NFL. So it'd be kind of interesting though if they did like the MLB draft combine at Charles Schwab Field, because you have the amenities like a major league. I mean, you have clubhouses, press conference rooms, athletic training rooms too to get treatment from. Bullpens are air conditioning. So like you have facilities in that stadium specifically at Charles Schwab Field to host an MLB draft combine. They actually did an MLB game there a few years ago. I think it was Detroit and the Royals, maybe it was. They did a game at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. So I thought that was interesting. Like they try to do an MLB game there. And but other than that, if you can't test out the NFL, the NFL, the NHL, and the NBA, it's kind of hard to kind of work through that route on what you can get out of these cities. But that's just how I see it with everything going on in the new franchise labelment of Major League Baseball.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, we do have a little surprise for you as we go along, and I'm going to bring him up right now. And there he is.
Nathan, welcome on, man. Good to see you. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. What's up, Matt? How you doing?
Good. Enjoying the warm weather in Miami, just escaping the snow for a little bit. So can't complain.
First of all, Joe, Sean, Evan, you did a fantastic job with Matt. Matt is an awesome guy. He's great to work with, and he's running an awesome company in World Baseball Network. Guys, guys, go plug that right now. World Baseball Network is one of the best out there when it comes to international baseball. And Matt is like all over the place. He travels. I don't know how he does it, but he travels to international countries to help out the teams down there with baseball. So he does a lot of great stuff. And Matt is, like I said, he's great to work with and very knowledgeable of the game of baseball. So glad that we can get him on here and explain more about his company and obviously him being at the winter meetings. And not only that, just the main focus of growing international baseball. So so Matt is a legend when it comes to that. So great job with Matt, man. This was awesome. A lot of information given here, and I hope everybody learned what today in the chat of what Matt brings to international baseball. So.
Yeah, thank you on other contributors too. I want to shout out Sean Spradling, Jeff Duda, MLB Network correspondent John Morosi. I mean, JP Morosi. These are the catalyst guys that are leading the way too in the international baseball landscape, and without other people that are in that mindset of growing the game, like we have to give our fruition to all of them because they're in it, and without these people, I think we wouldn't be where we are right now, where the game is growing globally. So I thank you guys for having this segment and having me on this segment. And look forward to other future lengths of what's going on in the global landscape of baseball for sure. These next few months, we got the World Baseball Classic, so
it's coming up soon here in a few months. So I can't wait for that. So I'm sure Matt will be traveling. You'll be traveling, right, for that to be.
So to line up everything else, my traveling is going to be a little bit outlined too. The next few weeks, looking for other networking alignments too with the IOC and the WBSC. March is upon us too. Late February, I'm going to head down to the Cactus League before Italy gets there. The United States, Mexico, Brazil, and Great Britain, they're all playing in Group B at Dyken Park in Houston, Texas, home of the Houston Astros. First time, like I said before earlier in the show, that the Astros are hosting a pool round for the World Baseball Classic. So yeah, lots to look forward to. We got the Caribbean Series news today dropping, maybe tomorrow, about which venue is going to be switched. If it's going to be switched out of Caracas, maybe Panama City was the next venue to look forward into that. I like to see Guadalajara host it. Off the record, Guadalajara or another venue in Mexico too, to work around those logistics. But yeah, no, a lot of international baseball. There's just a lot going on, and it's great to be a part of it. And I'm really happy to be on the segment today, for sure, prior to the holidays.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to get Matt on here because obviously, to promote his World Baseball Network and also explain a little bit, whoever doesn't know about like international baseball, explain more about it tonight. And like I said, he's not knowledgeable about that, and a lot of big things coming from his end too, from World Baseball Network, and obviously the people that he works with, and like we work with him sometimes. We love helping him out with his brand, so that's why I wanted to get him on here for you guys. And you guys did a fantastic job with the questions and all of that. So
thank you. Yeah, no, it very knowledgeable, and we'd love to have you on again, especially having if we do the baseball classics, which we're leaning towards.
Yeah.
It would be great. You come on either before, during, after a game, whatever time you can give us.
Yeah, so the time length of a lot right now. So the Cactus League games and the Grapefruit League games are March 1st to the 4th. They're spread out another calendar. Rain stuff. I haven't not mentioned this in the show yet, but the Dominican Republic is playing the Detroit Tigers on home soil at Estadio Juan Marichal in Santo Domingo. So that's another event that we're looking to highlight, have on staff there with the MLB credential requisite lane 2 in the capital of the Dominican Republic, because that's going to be a huge time frame to see that, like host countries, like you want to play an exhibition game against a major league ball club, that's going to open the doors for countries like Panama. We were talking about the Montreal Expos earlier because they did that in the early 2000s for when they played in San Juan at Hiram Thorne Stadium. It was cool that Major League Baseball brought that emblem side to have games in San Juan. So yeah, that's going to open doors for, hopefully Venezuela can have, like I said before, with Estadio Simon Bolivar, have 2 games in the next World Baseball Classic against a major league organization. Mexico, like the venues I said before, could have 2 games, prior to the World Baseball Classic, playing against an MLB team, MLB teams too, directively. So yeah, no, it's going to be a great time frame to see where the game is growing globally. That was a big announcement that I wanted to get on there too. That was announced at the winter meetings to confirm from Nelson Cruz, who is the general manager of the Dominican Republic team, Juan Nunez, who is the president of the Federación Dominicana de Baseball. Albert Pujols is the manager too of the Dominican Republic this time out. Yeah, so he played in 2006. Now he gets to manage 20 years later, for his native country. So it's cool to see that 2-game series against Detroit is being played at Estadio Quisqueya Juan Marichal in Santo Domingo. And before the World Baseball Classic, where everything happens in Miami. You got Pool D in Miami, Pool C in the Tokyo Dome, Pool B at Dyken Park, Pool A at HB. So at Hiram Bethorn Stadium in San Juan. So a lot to look forward to, and can't wait to see where international baseball is going into new heights these next few months, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's been an honor having you on here. We really enjoyed it, and you really opened our eyes, mine especially.
Write a book. Write a book.
Yeah,
write a book. Write a book.
Yeah, write a book. Come on.
We'll help you. Matthew will help you. You can have all the credit. I don't care. Just write a book.
Appreciate you guys. Seriously. Yeah, I mean, hey, so I got a colleague too, Mike Vivolo. He wrote a children's book called Good Night Cooperstown. Maybe there could be a Good Night International Baseball segment.
Yeah.
I was mentioning players like Satchel Paige this segment.
Yes.
Sarahara O, Shigeo Nagashima.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's players that were great. Is there a Good Night Cooperstown, or is there a Good Night International Baseball to escape these guys? So like in other reference, I think, like children's books or auto frame books of like these tournaments that need exposure that are great in the history of the game, like the Central American, Caribbean games, Pan American games, what's leading up to LA 28, since we had, baseball landfill in the Olympics from 1984, and the World Baseball Classic. It's a great opportunity, and I feel like these tournaments need exposure. These leagues of these finals need exposure too. The World Series was great. We basically had an international World Series though, because it was Canada and the United States. So we definitely did flavor that a little bit into that landfill. So it's cool stuff.
And I mean, especially because people keep nicknaming the Dodgers as the Nippon Dodgers because of Otani and Saki and Yamamoto.
And I mean, the Dodgers are just gonna keep adding players from other pipeline streams, and I just feel like they got the money to do it. Like we all said, I think we all know. I think that's a definite. They got the money to do it. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. Whether you're a writer, a fan, or a business person in baseball, you can say what the Dodgers are doing is unreal for that matter. But it's cool to see where the game is growing. Like I said before, and I appreciate being on this segment for closing on 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for having me on today, for sure. And happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody here. So,
and please remember, you got to come back.
Yep.
I'm coming back to New York in a few days. So we'll come around.
I'm going to stay on top of your Italian buns that you're going to write a book and you're going to do a podcast.
Yeah, we gotta do. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Arthur Ave in the next few days. I gotta come around, get everything cold cuts going on. Got to cook up for the family. So, it's gonna be great to be back from Miami for a few days.
Yeah, let me know when you're in. Let me know when you're in. We'll all catch up. So,
thank you guys so much. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate it.
Well, enjoy the day, and we're gonna call you out once the Yankees get 2 more superstars.
2 more superstars. What's the time frame?
Right.
Italians.
What's the time frame you
the
predicted?
Yankees are gonna make moves.
Say less.
I believe Belly, and I believe in May are the 2 big free agents within the next 2 weeks. Within this week or next week.
I believe Michael King is going to be wearing a Yankee uniform again.
Yeah, you think so? He performed well with San Diego. He was
he's out. He's out. I guarantee you, he's not staying in the West Coast.
So he narrowed his teams to Yankees, Red Sox, and Orioles.
That's what the source is confirmed that he's narrowing it down to. Cool.
Yep.
Guess we got to go on Twitter now after the segment. Closing it
Well,
and going about my day. Appreciate you guys.
Within the next 3 to 4 days, he's going to sign.
Oh.
So we're saying the 19th.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm thinking
give or take, and in my
20th.
opinion, it's Yankees Red Sox
For Michael King.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Bellinger comes back too, though. I mean, it's either us or it's San Fran.
He goes to the Giants, you think, Bellinger?
Yeah, I know that the Giants are showing interest in Cody, but I don't hear too many other teams. I know Scott Boras named off a whole bunch during the press conference, but that's classic Scott Boras.
Cool.
Well, you know what, Matt? We're gonna do a 30, sort of like different from ESPN, but we're gonna analyze every team as we go into the season. When we do the Yankees, we want you to come up.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
And
yeah,
let's see who has the more momentum, us or you.
No, we ain't comparing, man. We're here trying to field off the news, what we're doing. So it's all love.
Yeah.
And,
It's all love. I'm just saying.
I appreciate being on this segment too. And it was good to really get off a lot of topics about international baseball. The market's gonna just keep growing, and I feel like 2026, you got a lot of main events too, like the World Cup. Hockey is back with the Winter Olympics too.
Yes.
So this is like a once in a lifetime lane of 3 major events: the Winter Olympics, the World Cup, and the World Baseball Classic that are all falling for 2026. And being here in Miami too, they're going to be building a Miami Live, kind of like Ballpark Village and stateside, what they have in Philadelphia too. So go check it out. It's going to be built right next to Lone Depot Park. A lot of cool vendors are going to be there too from that time frame. You got Inter Miami building a new stadium. I guess I could say too, not to quote soccer in this, but the Inter Miami stadium, since they just won the MLS Cup, that's going to be the house that Messi built. So I guess that's like a unique cliche for what we said about the newer markets in MLB, or the cities that don't fill the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL, that even for an MLS area that's growing around certain regions in the United States and Canada, you could say one player helped build that stadium. It's the house of Messi. So it's going to be cool. World Cup games are at Hard Rock Stadium where the Dolphins play. We got Fanatics coming up during the World Cup final. I think so. I put on for Fanatics too, because what they do is an amazing job. Michael Rubin, you got SEO to shout out Michael Rubin,
shout out Michael,
his colleagues, other people at Fanatics that are getting it done from top to bottom, for having Fanatics at Jacob Javits Center during the World Cup final is going to be a huge demand for the New York City tri-state area, travel demand for the United States and other people coming from around the world to be there for that final at MetLife Stadium. But we got the World Baseball Classic final the 17th in Miami.
Let's go.
Shot 95 for that. So
and then Miami, obviously Messi won the cup. Won the trophy this year too in Miami. So that's a good thing. And I'm sure the streets were mobbed that day when they won it. And Miami had the home run derby too. All right.
Yeah, Vladdy Jr. Yeah. So we got World Baseball Network got to do that event, the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. event. I gave Nathan a requisite for other colleagues to send out other modifications on that. So the Vladdy Jr. event was amazing. The La Gente de Barrio softball event. Jose Barrios just had one yesterday, the La Máquina Foundation at Estadio Roberto Clemente in Carolina, Puerto Rico. You had the Don't Blink Home Run Derby for the Bahamas, 2 over the weekend in the celebrity softball game with MLB Players Alliance that made a lot of mark in that. They do a credible event at Baja Mar. I wish I could come a certain amount of years. Definitely try to make that a priority for 2026. And the winter meetings was a priority this year because we don't know if we're going to have a winter meetings next year with the collective bargaining agreement in the wings. So the winter meetings was a pretty much a high Flagstaff priority for World Baseball Network to be boots on the ground. Julian Goulardi, I got to give a shout out to him.
Shout out, Julian.
He did a lot of requisite work with the World Baseball Classic content and also Major League content. They had a media press day that people grouped in and stood around for other, landfill lanes of managers being there, federation presidents, and other officials being there at the winter meetings from the presented countries. Cuba was not there, obviously. So 19 countries only showed up at the Hilton Orlando, but it was a great networking opportunity to talk to Damaso Espino, who's the general manager of the Panamanian national team. He gave me good insight on how they want to build their roster and everything else. And being a head international scout for the St. Louis Cardinals, Damaso Espino, having Ivan Herrera on that team is going to be a big help for Panama offensively and defensively during Pool A of the World Baseball Classic. But yeah, lot to look forward to. I'll be down in Houston in the next few months. Well, the Cactus League and then Houston during March. So yeah, it's going to be a cool time frame to see what we got going on with the 20th year of the World Baseball Classic, the 6th time the event has happened, and the game that keeps growing. We got 20 teams now. Second consecutive event. We got 20 countries in the field from 16 to 20. From 2006, 2009, 13, and 17, it was 16 teams. Now that it's been 20 for the second consecutive event, let's see of what happens for sure. If another end of when the World Baseball Classic happens, there's more teams that can make the field. So yeah, it's a great time frame, and I can't wait to what lies ahead with international baseball come March or these next few months. I mean, right now we got games in Venezuela today. That's why I took time to come out, because I tell Nathan, like, listen, man, I can't be on this segment if I got other leagues today. So we got 2 games today in Venezuela, 1 game in Lindome. I'll give up the write-off. We got the Toros del Este hosting the Tigres del Licey at 4 o'clock Eastern. That's 5 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. MLB TV, go check that out. If you have a baseball subscription, baseball play subscription, baseballplay.com to check out the Liga Venezolana de Béisbol Profesional. You have 2 games going on. The Bravos de Margarita go up to the Estadio La Reconada to play the Leones de Caracas at 6 p.m. today, baseballplay.com. So you got to subscribe to watch those games in Venezuela. And then the Navegantes de Magallanes, they will host the Águilas de Zulia at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Those 2 games are 7 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Time from what we're landscaping today. So yeah, 3 games. We got 3 games in the Caribe today, and I'm glad I took the time to come on early, 11:30 Eastern. So it's been great.
Let's go.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
Cooking up.
The energy you have is unbelievable.
This is great.
I have never seen. I'm flabbergasted.
This is probably our best guest.
Oh, I mean, you are an encyclopedia. Just press a button. Maybe touch your button on your shirt or something, and
I got my label right here. How to come on up with that?
Oh my God!
That's the hyphen of the name was covering it up. So
knowledgeable.
Amazing. You got to go on. You got to go on. One of these really good game shows. You'll make a fortune. Go to
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy with
the cycle in the last Olympics.
No, the $100,000. What was that? I want to be a millionaire. You'd be great for that, man. Yeah. No, you guys. Thank you. This was a wealth of knowledge, and you kept the Yankee fans. Just don't worry. Don't worry about it. One last day before opening day. So you did a good thing. You really did.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, love to come on again, or vice versa. I have my own podcast too, Baseball Without Borders. Go check us out. We're on every podcast that you guys can have. So we got a lot of networking alignments too in the media sector. Let us know. We also collaborated with Diamante 23, Leonte Landino's platform. He's from Farmington, Connecticut, and we're going to be doing a WBC 360 outline of coverage with 30-minute segments of teams that are participating in the World Baseball Classic. We'll also talk about other countries that didn't make it, that could see a foreseeable future playing in the 20-team field. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of content that's hyping out with World Baseball, global, and the global emblem of what we got for the game. So we as fans, we as media people, and other ends of business and baseball. So yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, and the fans definitely enjoyed it. And we got to have you on again. And good luck and safe travels, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and everything in between to you and your family.
We got some breaking
news. Thank you guys so much.
Baseball. Phillies just signed Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers.
Oh wow!
What's the deal?
1 year, $10 million.
Yeah, wasn't he?
I mean, they're out of Bellinger.
Yeah, Phillies might be out of Bellinger now.
They got another. They replay. Yeah, they're out. So now it's wow.
Bader's still free agent, right? Harrison Bader.
Yeah, Bader's a free agent.
Yeah, Bader. But no, Adolis Garcia, he was non-tendered by the Rangers, right?
I'm surprised about that, but I guess he was struggling. I guess I don't know.
I'm glad he's out because he killed the Yankees.
Maybe in a different city he'll be fine. Rejuvenated in Philly.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So shout out to Miguel Sano. He just signed a 1-year deal with the Chunichi Dragons of Nippon Professional Baseball for $1.3 million.
That's awesome. Wow.
Wow.
So a little trailing guy got a little some at bats in the DR this past winter, or this current winter for the Estrellas Orientales. He is now heading out to the land of the rising sun. Miguel Sano.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the best. I mean, like really crazy. But
speaking of Vladimir, they just announced that he's going to play for Dominican Republic in the WBC.
Yeah. So that's going to be a stacked lineup. I think that's going to be the best lineup that the Dominican Republic has ever put out for the World Baseball Classic. I mean, even guys with like Idate Oscar Hernandez. We don't know Willie Adames' status as of now. I think the Dominican Republic could possibly win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I did have a segment with Liam Holland of Bat Boys.
Okay.
He picked Japan and DR as the final, but that can't be the scenario because Japan is in Pool C.
Yeah.
DR is in Pool D. That can only be a semifinal scenario. So, Liam, wherever you are, Bat Boys Baseball, we got to do another one. You picked DR, though. You confirmed DR's the winner, so stick with that. But the final matchup has to be right. Are we gonna make predictions? We gotta close out. We got announcements right now. Vladdy's committing. What's our final and what's our champion for the 26th World Baseball Classic?
U.S. and DR, but I'm gonna stick with USA.
I hope
USA beats DR in the final in Miami.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the same thing. I think DR is a great team, but I hope USA wins it all. But I think Dominican Republic, they have the roster, they can win it all, and they put out a great lineup. And then adding Vladdy now to that lineup is gonna be amazing. So I got USA and DR, but I hope USA pulls it off. But I can see DR definitely winning the whole thing in Miami. So.
Yeah. Same thing. USA, DR. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got 3 USAs. We got 3 USAs is what we're saying. Okay. Final one. Let's go. Mania.
Someone said don't sleep on Venezuela. That's another team.
Mania's got to make it happen with a pick before World Baseball Network finalizes.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you got it. But no, it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be, I mean, obviously, going Italy and the United States for me. So I can't lose if one of them wins.
But they're in one pool, though. They're in one pool, though. So it's got to be. So Pool A is, like I said before, Puerto Rico, Canada, Colombia, Panama, Cuba.
Yeah.
Pool B. Now this is the hyphen after Pool B. So it has to be from Pool C and Pool D down. Pool B, like I said before, Mexico, United States, Italy, Great Britain, Brazil. Now that's one side of the bracket. Pool C. You got the Czech Republic, Chinese Taipei, Japan, South Korea, and Australia. Pool D finishes off in Miami. So then you got the Netherlands, the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
So So like Italy, United States is in one group. If they advance twice out of that to the quarterfinals to play the Pool A teams, so what would be your final? because I'll pick my final two. New York Yankees mania.
Mm.
Come on, Joe.
Japan, United States again. Can go that route. You can get,
No,
a little dicey.
I think the Dominican Republic. United States.
So DR and the United States in the final, and who's winning it?
Aaron Judge, that's a big home run. The Yankees, and they win it.
And the United States captures the gold medal in the final. Okay.
Yep. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. So we got 4 United States picks. Is that correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Damn, I gotta go different now. Now you're making me go different, but is my gut the United? Is my heart and my gut the United States to my brain? Oof. All right. You got World Baseball Network dicing up. I'm gonna go Japan and the United States in the final once again. I'm gonna have. I think if it's like, all right, now we got 4 United States. Do I go the route to say United States or? All right, Sasaki isn't committed to Japan now. So that's another thing. Like Roki isn't committed. Do you have other major league talent? I just feel like there's another drama to be on the other side because I don't think we have the same ending as Ohtani striking out Trout to end it. I think we got to go United States. I think I like as much as I love the DR and to say that they could possibly. I'm just worried about their starting pitching outside of Sandy, Freddie Peralta. I just don't know. I don't know if they can make it out of the semis but I think the DR gets to the semis. But I feel like Japan is just too good. I think they could beat DR in the semis, and I think it's Japan, the United States, with the United States winning.
Oh, wow.
Second time.
Yep.
So we're all 5 here. We're all 5 that picked the USA.
Let's go.
We're sticking with it.
Yeah, but I'm the first and only one that said the Judge is going to win it.
Well,
Win the MVP or get a base hit to win it.
He's gonna get the big hit to win it.
He's
on a roll.
Yep.
He's going to be on a roll this year, all the way through.
The 2 MVPs, one MVP and then the other co-MVP on the same team. So
Well, he can be the MVP of the tournament and he can be the MVP of the AL. So that's another stretch. That's another stretch to say on your resume. You won the MVP of the World Baseball Classic and the MVP of the American League in the same year.
Yep.
Hey, MLB Network, you got to tap in. I think there's some stuff going up
no,
here.
I was thinking Judge is gonna have a huge tournament.
After Aaron Judge does all that, then Nitin will sign him up.
Yeah. We'll book him for an event, hopefully.
Yeah, you
There
get
you
on the
go.
PR scale, man. That's what's up, man. Appreciate it. That's what's up.
Well, no, I'm glad. I'm glad you got to talk. The passion and the love that you have for this and the knowledge is just incredible. And I urge anybody that just saw a little bit of this or when they come home from work, I'll put a short out to make sure that they listen. If they love the WBC, then this is the show that they need to listen to. Watch. So I will do that for you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. You can find World Baseball Network on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, other social media channels. Baseball Without Borders is our podcast on Apple Podcasts, alongside other platforms where you get your podcast from. Nathan, thank you so much. Oh, and TikTok. We're on TikTok.
Oh, so TikTok.
TikTok.
Can't forget
Italy.
that.
As we say in Italy, TikTok.
We got TikTok, so go follow us too on all those media platforms that I just named and worldbaseball.com. Yeah.
Well, good luck. Safe trip. And like I said, great holiday season. And keep up that passion. Write a book and do it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.
No problem.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you all and happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa to everybody
Same
watching.
here.
Thank you.
Take care.
Viva Italia!
Forza. Missouri.
Lovely.
All right, guys.
Take
Take care. Have
care,
a great
man.
one.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Wow. Well, let's go, guys. You did an
Yeah.
amazing job.
What
Great
a
job.
great,
That was awesome.
great interview that was.
I have
That
never
was
seen
awesome.
somebody
Yeah.
with so much freaking knowledge in my life.
Yeah.
That
Wow,
was
no, I'm blown.
You guys killed it. You
unbelievable.
guys killed it. You guys did a great
I was
job.
blown away with Andrew Jones, but I was just really blown away
Yeah.
with Matt.
See,
We
I
can go
told you.
higher.
Yep. What's up, Bryce? How you doing?
Oh, Bryce is here. What's up?
Rise,
We got all the way
I'll
into
be-
Bryce's
I'll be right back.
or something.
You're ending.
Yeah, we're gonna call it.
All right.
Yeah, I got a few important things I have to take care of.
Yeah.
So
And by the way, the Mets signed Christian Pache to
yeah, and I think the Yankees are gonna make a move any minute now.
There's a
I
report.
guess I'll just go without sleep until tonight. No.
There's a report out there. Though. There's a report out there that the Orioles need to outbid the Yankees and Red Sox in order to get Michael King.
Yes,
Okay.
that's true. That's 100% true.
I think he's deciding between whether to go back home or literally stay home.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's Rhode Island. Rhode Island is pretty much Massachusetts.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear anything, I will let you guys know.
All right.
All right, guys, you did a bang up job.
You guys did a great job. Good job.
Awesome, and I can't believe we went 2 hours and 18 minutes. It's unbelievable. Guys, I will let you know if there is another stream later. As of right now, nothing's planned. But if the Yankees do something or it's real important, I will get in touch with you with the link, so we don't have to keep going back and forth.
Okay.
So keep in touch, everybody in the chat. Thank you. You guys were awesome. Please subscribe to the channel. Press the very, very important. Give us a like. This Matt was incredible. Yep. Give us a like, please. That we could really use.
Glad that my team and I can help out with this too. So
thank you. Oh yeah. One final thing. Do you have Jabber in the mouth tonight?
Not tonight. Tomorrow.
Okay, that's right. You can. Okay. Just making sure.
Tomorrow,
all right, guys, we will. I'm sorry.
Tomorrow we have Michael Barrett on our show tomorrow.
Oh, good. Okay, that's a good interview.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we go back to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but stay in touch. I will put a couple of shorts out to make sure and everything. If the Yankees make a move, we will definitely be back. Remember, we're gearing up to our show Thursday night at 8 p.m. with Chef Nick and Maria to kick off the Christmas holiday spirit, and then a lot more fun on top of that. So stay with us, everyone. Please subscribe. Thank you for being here. We love each and every one of you. Have a great day, everyone. Yeah. Panel, you're the best. Have a great day. Go Yankees!